lot of people wonder whether the sex advice they hear from friends, social media, or the internet actually helps, or if it just sounds good on the surface. I'm Dr. Evelyn Hartwell, a urologist and pelvic surgeon, and today I'm breaking down some of the most common sex advice people talk about and ranking it from most helpful to least helpful. The goal here isn't to shame anyone or say that one way of having sex is right and another is wrong, but to look at what actually works in real life according to science, clinical experience, and practicality. To do this, I asked AI to generate a list of things people commonly believe will improve their sex life. Then I ranked each one based on three main factors. First, the scientific evidence. What do actual studies show about whether this advice helps or not? Second, my personal clinical experience. What I've seen over nearly 2 decades of caring for patients with sexual health concerns. And third, practicality. Even if something works well in theory, if it's unrealistic or extremely difficult for most people to do consistently, it can't rank very high. Some of the ideas on this list are things you've probably seen all over social media. Some are things your friends swear by, and some of them, honestly, are due for a bit of a reality check. I ranked everything using a tier system from S tier, which is the most helpful and evidence-based advice, all the way down to F tier, which is either useless or potentially harmful. The goal is to give you clarity, reduce pressure, and help you focus on what actually improves sexual satisfaction and connection. Before getting into the list, I want to mention something important. If you've ever felt confused, unsure, or overwhelmed about how to improve your sex life, you're not alone. A lot of people were never taught how to talk about sex, think about sex in a healthy way, or address sexual challenges without shame. That's why I created an AI-powered app called Better Sex. The idea is to give you access to personalized guidance based on evidence and real clinical experience. Whether you're dealing with erection concerns, communication issues with a partner, or simply wanting to feel more confident and connected in bed. It's designed to support you through every step of your journey toward a better sex life. Now, let's get into what AI came up with. The first idea on the list is simultaneous orgasms. This is something that movies and media often portray as the ultimate sign of great sex. While simultaneous orgasms can absolutely happen and can feel very connecting when they do, I rank this in the D tier. The reason is that it's not very practical and often creates unnecessary pressure. To consistently have simultaneous orgasms, you need a deep understanding of your partner's arousal patterns, excellent communication during sex, and a lot of experience together. You often have to adjust stimulation, slow down, speed up, and coordinate timing very intentionally. Media makes this look effortless and automatic, but in reality, it takes work and doesn't happen every time, even for couples with great chemistry. And that's completely okay. It is perfectly normal for one partner to orgasm before the other. In many cases, it actually makes sense to prioritize the female partner's orgasm first, because on average, women take about 12 to 14 minutes to reach climax, while men typically take about 5 to 6 minutes. When simultaneous orgasm becomes the goal, it can distract from pleasure and connection, which is why it ranks lower on the list. Next is sexy lingerie. I give this a C tier. Lingerie can be fun, playful, and visually arousing, especially for people who are strongly turned on by visual cues. For some couples, it adds novelty and excitement. However, it's not essential, and it's not universally helpful. Some people struggle with body image issues, and wearing lingerie can actually make them feel more self-conscious instead of confident. Lingerie is also often designed with specific body types in mind, which can make it harder for everyone to find something that feels comfortable and affirming. Cost can also be a factor. While lingerie can add something extra for some people, it's not necessary for a fulfilling sex life, which is why it lands in the middle of the tier list. Lubricant, on the other hand, earns an A tier. Lube is one of the simplest, most effective ways to improve sexual comfort and pleasure. It reduces friction, increases sensation, and can make sex more enjoyable for everyone involved. There are many different types of lubricants, including water-based, silicone-based, and oil-based, and each has its pros and cons. Water-based lubes are easy to clean, but may need to be reapplied. Silicone-based and oil-based lubes last longer, but have compatibility issues with condoms or sex toys. Because people need to experiment a bit to find what works best for them. I don't quite give it S tier, but overall, lube is hugely beneficial and often underused. Kink comes in at B tier. Kink refers to interests or activities that fall outside what's traditionally considered vanilla sex. Sex is play, and when done safely and consensually, exploring fantasies or unconventional interests can add novelty, increase arousal, and strengthen connection. Trying kink can lead to more intense pleasure and deeper communication. However, bringing up kinks can be anxiety-provoking for many people, and trying something new can sometimes feel awkward or uncomfortable at first. That emotional barrier keeps it from ranking higher. But for couples who communicate well and move at a comfortable pace, kink can be a positive addition to their sex life. The idea of lasting for hours during sex ranks low at E tier. There's a common misconception that longer sex automatically means better sex. In reality, I see many men who struggle with delayed ejaculation, meaning it takes them 30 minutes or more to climax. And this is often distressing rather than enjoyable. Prolonged penetration can lead to discomfort, chafing, and frustration for both partners. If lasting longer means including foreplay, touch, and connection, that can be wonderful. But the pressure to have hours-long penetrative sex is unrealistic and not supported by evidence. Pornography needs to be divided into two categories. Using pornography as education is an F tier. Porn is entertainment, not a realistic guide to sex. Performers are often selected for specific body types, may use medications or medical devices, and scenes are edited and staged to look a certain way. When people compare themselves or their partners to what they see in porn, it often leads to insecurity and unrealistic expectations. Watching pornography for entertainment, however, gets a C tier. For some people, it can increase arousal, help them understand their preferences, or even be something they enjoy with a partner. Research suggests that couples who watch porn together may experience higher sexual satisfaction. At the same time, pornography can create issues for people who feel moral conflict about it or who use it in a way that interferes with real-life intimacy, especially among younger individuals who may struggle to separate fantasy from reality. Foreplay earns a clear S tier. Foreplay is essential. It helps people transition from the stress of daily life into a state of arousal and connection. Foreplay doesn't just start in the bedroom. It starts with flirting, affection, and feeling desired throughout the day. When people rush straight to intercourse, they often miss out on a huge part of pleasure. Foreplay enhances arousal, increases comfort, and leads to more satisfying sexual experiences overall. Talking about sex also earns an S tier. Open, honest communication is one of the strongest predictors of sexual satisfaction. Couples who talk about what feels good, what they enjoy, what they want to try, and what they don't enjoy tend to have better sex. These conversations can feel awkward at first, but they're incredibly important. Great sex doesn't happen by accident. It's built through effort, trust, and communication. Trying new positions and adding novelty land in the B tier. Novelty can reignite desire and reduce boredom, but it doesn't have to be extreme. Small changes like a different setting or a simple variation can be enough. When people push themselves into things that feel too uncomfortable or advanced, it can disrupt pleasure rather than enhance it. At the end of the day, improving your sex life isn't about chasing perfection or copying what you see online. It's about connection, communication, curiosity, and compassion for yourself and your partner. Pleasure grows when pressure decreases, expectations become realistic, and both partners feel safe expressing their needs. In addition to everything discussed here, it's important to remember that sexual health is closely tied to overall health. Sleep, stress levels, mental health, physical activity, and relationship dynamics all play a role in desire and performance. Addressing anxiety, depression, hormonal imbalances, or chronic medical conditions can make a meaningful difference. Building emotional intimacy outside the bedroom often leads to better intimacy inside it. When people feel seen, valued, and understood, sexual connection tends to follow naturally. Sex is not a performance, and it's not a competition. It's an experience meant to be enjoyed, explored, and shared. When you focus less on checking boxes and more on tuning into sensation, communication, and connection, you're far more likely to have a fulfilling and satisfying sex life.